Right.
It's no way to go to it's no way to do this job correctly, how it's supposed to be done, and not go to IA.
Right.
And he sees us and he looks down and he's trying to gaze to jump away from it. And then as he jumps off, I'm like, oh shit, like he's really jumping off. And then that's when I end up taking off running, and I felt the wind go past me when he hit the ground. So that was pretty crazy.
Welcome back to Internal Affairs, a police podcast here with your IA guy. Today, T-Money, Trey Mosley. I know he's got other nicknames, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But here's the deal. We're going to get to know Trey a little bit, and was kind enough to come down. I actually met Trey, watching him on social media, which I truly believe is the wave of the future as it relates to us police officers or just law enforcement in general, to get our voice to be heard and to have that platform so that you can get to know us better as to what we do on an everyday basis. So without further ado, let me bring Trey on. Okay, Code 6, T, man. Thanks for showing up, bro.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, let me, of course, we're going to talk about internal affairs. We're going to get into all that stuff. I do know you're fresh.
Yeah.
You're fresh, you know.
Fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press. And I like it because I haven't had many guests that are active and fresh, which to me, I think it's super important. I'd be the first one to tell you that 25 years ago is not what policing is today.
No. Yeah,
what do you
different.
think?
I think, 100%. It's completely different.
When I say that, what pops out of your mind in terms of
number one thing is body cameras. That is the number one difference.
Right. What else?
Just how involved the politics are from the citizens to influence police work. I think that's another thing.
Do you think that the rules have changed?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. So you're part of, and speaking of training, let me ask you this: you are part of the new 835A?
Yeah.
Right. They taught you that AB 392.
Yep.
In the academy.
The de-escalation. Yeah.
Now, out of curiosity, in the academy, how many hours did you actually get of that?
I don't remember. It's somewhere listed, but I do not know the number.
Because all you wanted to do was just graduate.
Yeah.
Isn't that something like everybody, where all these post classes, these learning domains you had to pass through, and all you just kept thinking about is, man, I got to get to graduation.
I can't wait to get out of here. Yeah.
Right. And that's just a human element, because your emotions, you're like, dude, I want to get out there and just start this career.
Yeah.
But do you think that we, and I say we, us, right, as police recruits, are to be held accountable as much as the department for having you to be trained?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel as though we need more training than what we normally get? Or how do you feel about training? I guess that's what I'm trying to get to.
With that statement, I want to be careful with that, because a lot of people say that, like, oh, you guys need more training, and all, like everyone says that. But the stuff that people think we need training in, we're fine there.
Correct.
Like the de-escalation, dude, like we're good there. Like we don't need much help there.
Right.
I do think we need more medical training. I do think that police officers should be forced to obtain like a certain fighting style at a certain level. That'll stop a lot of uses of forces. Like,
so BJJ
100%.
is important.
Yes, absolutely. So if cops were forced to do that, that would stop a lot more prolonged uses of forces, and it probably will stop more shootings because people will be more confident going hands on. So
yeah. You know, and the reason why I ask all this is because obviously I'm a law enforcement instructor with the Savage Training Group, and I teach the officer-involved shooting OIS post-certification course and the internal affairs post-certification course. I asked that to say that I was always under the belief, and it didn't really hit me until I started actually teaching, is that I feel as though the department never really sent me to enough training.
So yeah, I agree. I feel like there is stuff that like I see certain trainings come in. I'm like, damn, why aren't we already getting that anyway? Like, why does this have to be an external training? Like, that's why I do agree there. Like, that is something, but I just feel like it's different than what the world thinks that we need training in. It's not the kind of stuff that they think.
Right, exactly. Okay, internal affairs. Let me ask you this, out of curiosity, and I ask it for a reason. You saw this Internal Affairs Say Police podcast,
Yeah.
and I got a hold of you. You probably saw me on Instagram, wherever you saw me. What was your first thoughts, bro?
When I first seen it, I'm like, oh hell no, I don't want no part of this. And then I was kind of like, then when you messaged me, I'm like, well, let me kind of look a little bit further. I'm like, oh, this ain't what I thought. This is more of like a trying to have people understand what this is like, or trying to understand like the minds of a police officer and stuff like that. Kind of like what I'm already doing. So that's when I decided to engage into it. But at first, I'm like, oh no, I'm not fooling with this shit. Like, I'm good.
Now, let me ask you this: why do you think that? Well, did anybody from Internal Affairs go to the academy and kind of introduce themselves?
Yeah, of course. They did, and they just basically they painted the picture that they didn't make it seem like there were some evil people trying to get us fired, but they're like, yo, like if you make a mistake, like just know
They coming.
Yeah, we're coming. Like we're coming for your ass. So
You're gonna get gotten.
yeah, for sure. That was to sum it up. That's basically what they said. They said it politically correct, but that's what they said though.
Right. Good. Well, hopefully you go through a career without getting IA.
I mean, it's no way to do the job and not do it. So if you're
Right?
doing the job correctly, and what I mean is like not correctly as far as like police culture. If you're doing it by the law, you're gonna end up in IA somehow, some way. Like you put hands on somebody, stuff happens, or you get a complaint, dude. Like you're taking somebody's mom, brother, sister, auntie, uncle to jail. You think they're not gonna have something to say about that? So
Right.
it's no way to go to IA. It's no way to do this job correctly, how it's supposed to be done, and not go to IA
Right.
at some point.
So you think public perception is probably where the challenge is. more than
Exactly.
anything.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. We did an episode of Capers, got to know you a little bit. We talked about this foot pursuit, and I'll leave the details for that episode. But I do know that before you came on the job, you were major. You were an athlete.
Yeah. I play football.
Play football.
Yeah.
Where at and how did that happen?
So, I mean, I've just been playing since I was a kid.
Okay.
Played in high school.
Pop Warner.
Yeah, I played Pop Warner. Yeah, I did all that. And then in high school, I was good enough to make it to college. And then I went to a school called Shattern State. It's in the northwest corner of Nebraska. Very small school.
Okay.
Went there. I had some challenges with grades and stuff, so that's why I ended up going to a small school like that. But ultimately, one of the best experiences of my life as far as like me developing into a man. My football experience was iffy. I feel like I could have had a better football experience, but I don't take nothing away from the experience I gained there. I could have got no other place. So
Right.
definitely pleased with the outcome and how it all unfolded.
Did football help you navigate your childhood and your teenage years?
Yeah, for sure. I don't come from like I come from a really good family. I don't want to say that. I come from 2-parent household, really good family. Parents been married my whole life since I could remember. I got the typical story. I grew up, was kind of raised in the hood. Both my parents got money at the same time from their jobs and moved us to the Inland Empire. So that kind of kept me out of trouble.
Okay.
We were going back and forth a lot, but the sports would really save me from being like the rest of my family, like gang banging and stuff like that, and selling drugs and just doing what was normal. Like that's normal to me.
Right.
Seeing that kind of stuff was normal, but the sports is the main difference between me and everybody else in my family. That me and my brother played sports and everybody else didn't, and we're the only ones that ended up not getting involved with gangs or going to jail or anything like that. We're the only two. So
okay.
But overall, I don't want to make it sound like my family's not good. I have a really good family, but that's.
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a really good family. However, I can't help to see what I saw growing up. Like, both my parents, gang members, stuff like that. So they did the best they could to raise us, and they did. They did well. They kept me out of trouble. I never sold drugs, never gang banged, anything like that. Stay out of trouble, and that's pretty much how that was me growing up.
Yeah, and that's admirable on your part because easily you could have went
easily
the other side of the fence.
It would have been significantly easier for me to sell drugs and play football. Like significantly easier.
Yeah. I meant to ask you out of curiosity, what was that day or that light bulb that said, you know what, I think I want to get into law enforcement?
Honestly, it was an audible career, man. I was going to school in Flagstaff, Arizona at NAU. I was finishing up another degree that I was getting, and COVID hit. And it was really hard to maintain a balance of going to school and working a full-time job because that's what I was doing. I was working as a manager at Walmart. So I decided, I was done with this. Because I was trying to be a doctor at the time. And then I was like, yo, I'm done at it's pretty crazy, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to be a doctor. And then I kind of let go of that dream when reality started hitting me a lot harder. I was trying to work and maintain a balance of like hard school. Like these are hard classes, organic chemistry and anatomy, like hard stuff. So
Yeah.
I just couldn't balance it no more. Came home and it was like, yo, I know I can either do firefighter or police. My family was like, yo, like the police? No. Because like how I grew up, they're like, we're not fooling with that.
Yeah.
Firefighter is the way to go. So I started kind of looking into that process. My dad ended up telling me later on, he was like, you know, I think you'll be good at it. Like, I think you understand the streets, you know how they work, and I think you'll be just fine if you try that too. So I'm like, all right, well, cool. I apply to do that as well. So I applied to do both, and then the police route was just moving a lot faster. Kind of prayed about it, like, yo, whichever one unfolds the easiest and most available to me, I'll take it. And it just seemed like the police route was just moving quicker and quicker. And just looking at it in broad scheme, I think I bring a lot more value to the police world than I do the fire world anyway. So.
Yeah. What's been the biggest challenge for you thus far in your career?
It was learning how to be myself. That's been the hardest thing. Everything about police work can be taught, dude, or you will learn it through, like I said, involving yourself with good cops. Like you will learn it at some point in time. The hardest thing for me is to be myself because who I am, and I'm not just saying because I'm black. Like that's not what I'm saying. It's where I come from, the culture, the music I listen to, the cars I drive, like the way I talk. That's not really accepted in police work. So learning how to make that be accepted was difficult for me, and learning like, yo, I got hired for me. So like, excuse my language, but y'all gotta accept me for who I am. Y'all hire me this way, so I'm gonna be this way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I take it in.
Yeah, I take it you say that because of experience.
Yeah, because of experience. Yeah. When I first got into the job, I felt like, and I want to be careful with this because I work with some really good people.
Yes.
But I feel like it was hard. Like, for example, if I come in, I got a Jeep, it's loud, 24-inch rims, I'm listening to Tupac or YG. It's like, yo, who's this guy? And I'm new too on top of that. They're like, yo, who the is this?
Yeah.
But it's like, this is
I'd
me,
be like,
bro.
how come you ain't listening to this shit?
This is normal to me. You know what I'm saying? So like, some people that rust people the wrong way, and it's like, yo, you're a cop and you're listening and stuff like that. Or look at how I dress. Like I don't look like no cop when I'm walking around. So
yeah,
you
ain't got the jeans with the little fanny pack.
Nah,
with your Danners.
Nah, I don't.
You ain't
do
wearing
that.
no
Nah,
Danners,
I ain't
right?
doing that. No. I wear Jordans, Air Force, Nike, stuff
there
like
you
that.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of don't judge its book by its cover.
Or even coming to work with a do-rag. Like I come into work with a do-rag. That's how I walk in. So it's like I walk past the captain. I'm like, yo, what's up, Cap? Like I'm like, how you doing, sir? I'm not saying none of that, bro. Like I'm gonna be respectful.
Yes.
And do it the right way.
Yes.
Like, but saying what's up to you, that's respectful where I'm from. So I'm not gonna talk down to you though, but I'm gonna uplift you, show your respect. I'm open the door for you, step out the way for you. I'll stand up so you can sit down. Like that's respect to me. But calling you sir, I don't mean respect. Like, nah, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you and I thank you more than I am glad that you share that because stereotyping is big in our profession.
Oh,
God,
yeah,
and cop
100%.
culture is just, I mean, you can only imagine. I can share some stories, and I always often wonder about this. So picture like South LA, right? Southeast 77, Southwest, and here comes this kid from Wyoming.
Oh, that's where you're from?
No. What I'm saying is that here comes this kid, male white from the Marine Corps, 23, 24 years old, and, LAPD, boom, he's excited, goes to the academy, graduates, and
that's a culture shock, dude.
and then you put him right there in the middle of Fig.
Fuck.
Right? So my point is that, and so we look at that and we wonder, and of course, for him, he's thinking, man, this police work. I'm going to catch some bad guys because that's what I signed up for. But we never really pay attention to the stereotyping from the lenses of your own colleagues. So I appreciate you sharing that with me, man. Hey, look, let me ask you this. We're at that segment. Worst incident in your career?
Worst incident in my career?
That you can think of?
Shit, man. One time I was on there was an incident where somebody jumped off a bridge and almost landed on me. That was pretty crazy. I thought that was crazy. And I don't know, even like my whole drive home, I kept thinking about that. I'm like, yo, what if he would have hit me? I would have been done. Like, it was, we were on the freeway and it was like a jumper call, which is that's pretty standard, like a jumper call. And we shut down the freeway. We went to the bottom. Some of us went to the bottom. Some of us went up to the top. Usually that's a joint operation with CHP because it's involving the freeway. So we have our clinician. We have a clinician team up top and a group of officers trying to communicate with the dude. Meantime, fire and a couple of officers they blow up the big bag, the jumper bag, and as they blow it up, we're getting ready to drag it out, and the dude hears us dragging it back because when you hear it when it's dragging, it's super loud, and he sees us and he looks down and he's trying to gaze to jump away from it, and then as he jumps off, I'm like, oh shit, like he's really jumping off, and then that's when I end up taking off running. And I felt the wind go past me when he hit the ground. So that was pretty crazy.
Wow. Just as a follow-up, in terms of mental wellness, because you're beginning your career, how do you feel about mental wellness being so important now than it was back in my days where it really wasn't like such a priority? What do you think about that?
I think it's important. My experience is different because I walked into policing being the way it is, like where people are like big on like mental health and stuff like that. So, kind of seeing how I see how like if you're not taking care of yourself mentally, you could just be short with people. You may not want to hear what people got to say. You may be less patient, stuff like that, which can eventually lead you to get into stuff you don't want to get into. So it is important to take care of the mental health, and I feel like people are really big on that now. Like even when my situation happened, my sergeant called me like 5, 6. It was almost kind of annoying. I'm like, yo, Sarge, like chill, bro. Like I'm good. He kept calling me like, yo, are you sure you're good, bro? Like that's not normal to have someone almost land on you from a bridge, bro. Like I've never seen that in my life, and not many people have. So I'm gonna keep checking on you, make sure you're good. I'm like, dog, I'm good. Like it's cool, but it's different from then to now. Like it's different.
Yeah, no, totally. Could be different for one of your colleagues.
Exactly.
Where it could have really affected them.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, man. Talk to me about that significant arrest, that one arrest that had to happen.
So, significant arrest. There was one where it was like a DV situation.
Okay.
The dude was threatened. I think he choked her out.
Okay.
And he kept sending her text messages like, oh, bitch, I'm going to come back. I'm going to finish what I got to do. I'm going to crash out and all this stuff. So I just got the information I'm like, yo, what type of car did he drive? I'm just asking, what's his Instagram? I'm asking all these different questions. I get if I got a chance of catching you, I'm going to ask as many questions as I can, especially with a victim that's cooperative. So I'm like, in this situation, I'm motivated to take, because I hate people who do stuff to women. Like it bothers me so much. So I try my hardest. Like, yo, you want to play this game? Like, I'm gonna show you that this is the consequence of that. So, I got a lot of information from her. Found out what type of car he drove, all that kind of stuff. The next day when I came to shift, I just sat in front of the crib, a little bit further away, just kind of chilling. Sure enough, I seen this dude pulling up, and I'm like, yo, this dude really came back. Like he was serious. Yeah. Stopped him. We did like a inventory of the vehicle because we towed it. We found a knife in the car that he had just purchased. So I'm like, was he going there to use that knife? I thought that was a pretty big deal. To me, when I look back at it, I'm like, maybe we saved her life. Or maybe I saved her life. Well, not me, because I was working with other people and they helped me with it. So maybe we saved her life. I don't know. Looking back at it, maybe. But I thought that was a big deal.
Was he cooperative?
He tried to play like this typical, like, what are you talking about? I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just driving down the street. I'm like, dude, get out of here, bro. Like, I know everything about you, bro. I knew at the time, I'm like, I know your name. You want me to tell your last name too? And then I told him his last name and just everything about him. And then he was just like, whatever, dude. Like, he kind of gave up after that. So.
Love that, man. Thanks, man. Oof. It's people, whoever's watching and listening, then really don't get to hear like the daily stuff that we do to like we're supposed to do, right? Prevent crimes, arrest. That's what your job's about. Exactly. And it's definitely significant, and I'm sure that family really appreciated the department, not just you, but everyone involved. So I appreciate you sharing that. Look, I'll leave the floor up to you. Tell us, how can we find you, man? Because I know I found you with TikTok or, And out of curiosity, what made you decide to focus a lot of police work that you do in social media? How did that come about?
So I was really, really hesitant at first, dude, like because my time on, I feel like people would really give me time of the day. They're like, who is this guy? Like, what does he know? And I was very hesitant because of that. But my main goal was at the end of the day, people that look like me, that grow up like me, we don't know nothing about police work. All we know is what we see on videos. We never got taught anything. Like my parents never taught me about case law or what police can and can't do. So my goal was just to share that to people that's like me, that didn't know nothing. So that way we can get less people that look like me hurt in these situations. Because it's not that people are fighting the police all the time. It's they don't know, so they're trying to prevent themselves from getting into a situation that they don't want to be in. But it's like, yo, bro, there's times where you can exercise your rights and there's times where you cannot. So my thing is to show people the difference on when you can and cannot pull that card of exercising your rights. And it all stems from lack of education. We don't know when we can and can't do these things. So the purpose of my videos, to get to the point though, was just to educate people that are like me, to stop these unnecessary incidents. And not, some of them are needed, but some of the stuff is unnecessary, and it's not always due to the cops. It's just due to situations that people don't know what they can and can't do. And it's like, well, if you don't listen, bro, shit's gonna start going bad for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
Shit's about to pop off.
Yeah, it's for real. So that's my main thing, is trying to make people understand that part. And who else can do it better than me? I feel like I'm young. I can speak to my audience best through social media because I understand social media. Social media is where my audience is at. And the mere fact that I'm black, people automatically will give me a listen. Whether it's because they hate the fact that I'm a black cop or they love the fact that I'm a black cop, they're gonna listen regardless. So I just took advantage of that.
Yeah, no, totally. And we're, as a matter of fact, you and I are going to break something down of coming up soon. And look, Trey, I really appreciate coming from an old dude like me, old school. I 100% appreciate what you're doing. The fact that you're actually on the job, fresh, right, means so much to all my audience out there. And I have a lot of old school guys. I have people who've been on the job in the late 70s, early 80s, early 90s. Really good stories, but you make me realize that by watching you on social media, it made me feel as though, you know what, we need this and we need more of you. And so from my lens, man, hey, I appreciate everything that you do, bro.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We're about to conclude. Any advice that you have for anyone who wants to come on to be a cop, what would you tell them? I'll leave the floor up to you.
For anybody that's trying to be a cop, man, my main thing is stay authentic to who you are. That is the biggest thing for me. Like I said, that was my biggest challenge. So stay authentic to you, and don't get wrapped into the bullshit, man. Like find some good cops and surround yourself with them, because when you don't know anything, it's very easy to get lost in this world and start doing stuff illegal that you don't even know is illegal. So find some good cops and hold on to them tight, man. That's my best advice.
T-Money, man, thank you so much. And we're going to wrap it up. And like always, please be safe out there and don't forget to go Code 6. Thank you.